We are officially live. Welcome to the Friday Live, brought to you by the Hood. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy, and I got my partner Crown Court. Me, Court, what's up, good brother?
What's really good, Jim, man? You good, man?
I'm tired as ever, man. I had the busiest week of my life, one of the busiest week of my life, man. But I'm here, so I have no complaints, man. I was just checking in with you before we started. You down here in Texas, man. Y'all got tornadoes and floods and lions and tigers and bears, man. So what's going on?
Yeah, the weather down here, the kids ain't had no school for the last 2 days because fucking weather been wilding out. Like it's been my lawn look like a fishing pond, bro. Like, and I don't got no money for a fishing pond, but what I got is torrential rains 3 days in a row. The first day my lawn was cool, and then the next 2 days because it got so much water the first day, it wouldn't soak in. So now just waiting for the what's the name to recede, waiting for the water to recede so I can actually leave my crib.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's also a blessing too, because like I was telling you, my brother Kerry hit me up. He was like, "Yo, is Corey cool?" And I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, I just got off the phone with Corey. He like, "No, there's something going on in Cleveland. I think he said Cleveland, Texas, or something like that."
Yeah,
because I didn't know. There
that's
was
right next door. That's a 15-minute drive.
He started showing me stuff from there, and they had houses flying away. I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
Corey must be cool."
Yeah, it get bad down there. It definitely get bad down there. It get bad down where I'm at. Like I said, man, we flooded out. Like the streets it looked like a like Niagara Falls. Like all the water was just running down the street. Like it was just nutty. But my electric and my water stayed on. My air conditioning broke, but because it was raining, it ain't hot. Yeah. So I just got my air conditioner fixed. I just paid a crazy nutty amount to get it fixed. And then because we was having electrical storms, it knocked off my air conditioner, and then it didn't come back on. Oh, so now I gotta call the people back out to fix my air conditioner.
Man, that's that Houston living, man. Brittany is in the building. Brittany says, "Hey, what's up, Brittany?" K Diggy says, "Hey, the flooding is what I don't miss from living in Houston." So, is flooding something that happens often?
Yeah. Because it's near Galveston, it's near the Gulf of Mexico, so
got you.
Definitely catch strays.
All right, man. So our folks are pulling up, man. Let us know who's here as you come in. Jose says, "Peace, family." Oh, we got a super chat from Miss Phoenix. Miss Phoenix, that is appreciated. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you.
Super chat is everything's appreciated, man. So hope everyone is staying safe and dry. You're trying to rock us in the building. Rock Noxious, what's good with you? You did. And Jose says, "Everybody, smash the love button as you make your way in.
Handle that business. Hit the and love button."
Don Johnson's in the building. Said, "What's good, family?" So we're gonna save our book talk for next week because we want to talk about something else. Because I called Corey and he was laughing, he was enjoying himself. I said, "Let's talk about it on the show, man." So Pascal's in the building. Rock says, "Y'all check your wallets for that missing 68 milli." You know what? That's funny you say that because. I mean, I do got some old ETH wallets back when I was in my shitcoining days. I didn't even think to check it. I don't know who boy sent it to. What Rock is talking about is somebody has $68 million of like wrapped Bitcoin, and they thought they were sending it to one of their other addresses, and they literally like put the wrong number in.
First of all, you're supposed to do a test. If you got that much, you're supposed to do a test. What is wrong with dude?
There you go. See, I was getting ready to lay the rules down, but you said it.
You're supposed to do a test send. If you sending that much of anything, you can't just send it. You gotta do a test send to make sure that it's going to the right place. What the fuck is wrong, man? Oh man, he made me cuss.
Now Rock got me thinking. Let me go check all these old ass wallets. Boy sent me 68 mil. It's up.
And it's stuck.
Playboy Barty. Sakina's also here. Greed got the best of him. Hey, listen, man, always do me a favor, man. Hit the like and love buttons while you're here. You know what I'm saying? To help us fight the algos. If you are listening to the audio version later on, you are also appreciated. We're going to try to make this a great experience for you as well. You know what I mean? We have a short show today, but we got a topic that we got to talk about because my brother Corey is back in his bag. I called Corey. Corey was like happy. I'm like, you call somebody, you feel him smiling on the other end. He's smiling right now as I talk about it.
Yeah, like, man, I like messy beef.
He was like, I like this rap beef. I was like, all right, man, you know, let's talk about it. So Emika's here, says hello. Jamil's here, what up, though? But I said, let's talk about it from this standpoint, though. I said, if we're going to talk about it, you know, we like to talk about Black wealth, personal finance. We do talk about all kinds of other stuff.
Who's getting paid?
Right. So I said, let's talk about it from this perspective. I was like, let's see who's getting paid on this thing. So I looked it up. Right. And first and foremost, I don't know how many of you guys are even into hip hop, let alone what's going on with Kendrick and Drake going back and forth. But, you know, because we talk about business and finance, we said, OK, let's see how folks are getting paid and splits and all that kind of great stuff on here. And it looks like it's all going back to one place. What I haven't been able to decipher yet is which one is the parent company, whether it's UMG or Interscope, because I went to multiple sites, and depending upon what site you go to, one says UMG is the parent company of Interscope, and the other one says Interscope is the parent company of UMG. But regardless, it's still all going to the same place. So, you know, whether you're Team Drake or you're Team Kendrick, like when you talk about where the value is going, you know, each is licensing their material. But it looks like it's all going to the same place, which is interesting in itself, right?
Well, if that it matters which one is the parent company, because Drake has a stake in the UMG.
So now here's the thing about that, right? I was reading on that, trying to find something where it said it, and what I found thus far says that it's never been confirmed he has a stake. Like, that was a rumor that started, and the rumor just went around, so everybody repeats it. But there's never been any documentation or anything to prove that he has a stake, right? Okay. So again, I don't know, but it could be a true rumor. Like, you know, sometimes it's true for rumors, but I was looking for that too. I'm like, you know, but Kendrick is also, if you read Kendrick's, his isn't under Interscope. It says license from Kendrick Lamar to Interscope. So there's a lot of nuance that goes into these whole things.
The contracts matter. Contract language matters.
I thought that was interesting too, because I'm like, I don't want to get in my conspiracy theory bag, right? But you got, you know, two of everybody will say two of the best artists of this generation going at it, and you know, somebody is sitting at top of that getting all the chicken while they just continuously you know, go at each other.
They can talk and fight all they want because they're getting paid.
Bread and circuses is what the Romans called that, right?
Yes.
So, but what's your perspective overall, man? Like, first of all, everybody who's listening or watching, what do you think about what's going on between those two gentlemen? Who you got winning right now? What song do you like the best?
I know Kenny did crazy numbers with his drop.
But I want to ask them that question so they can fill that in while you give your perspective. So then while you're talking, we can get all the answers in the chat so we can see how people feel about what's going on between Kendrick.
The difference between what Kenny did and what Drake did is that Drake, he played himself a little bit with the tailor-made, you know, because he really can't make no money off of that. It was set up to try to, you know, lure what's the name out into actually battling them.
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't really getting no paper off of that because he used the AI in the Tupac estate, which is owned by a white dude. Was like, no, get that down off of there. And then, but Kenny, when he dropped, he like number one on every streaming service.
Yeah,
for that joint. Yeah, he's setting records. So he put a little chicken in his pocket. So right now he up 1-0 on the money front with, he up 1-0 on money on this joint. Not saying that he got more money to drink and all this other stuff, because I really don't care. But as far as Black wealth, as far as this rap battle thing is concerned, he up 1-0 with the money, because my man set all kinds of records for streaming records for a rap song, for a rap battle song, for this, for that, for this, for that. Like, he set like 50 records.
So here's the other thing, right? I'm going to ask you how you feel about it from a hip hop standpoint too. But to me, the whole thing is just interesting because I was thinking about this before we came on. I probably listen to more Drake than Kendrick, but I like Kendrick more than Drake, and I don't even know how to like really explain it. It's like I like the idea of how Kendrick carries himself as an artist, right? Where he ain't always in front of the flash, he ain't always on socials, drawing and all that kind of stuff. Like the way he moves is like, you know, more militant and thoughtful. And again, that just could be perception. I don't know either of these guys, so I really don't care about either of them, to be honest with you. But I appreciate the way he moves. But when it comes to actual music, I was looking at my phone. I was like, all right, let's see who I listen to more. I definitely listen to a little bit. I listen to Drake more. I listen to both of them. I listen to Drake way more. But in terms of hip hop beef, I think he getting cooked right now. And this is someone being objective. Because one of the things that I noticed about everything in 2024, and you can see this in politics. We talked a little bit about it on our last podcast in our Friday show, where people are rooting for millionaires. People find like these heroes or people to believe in, and they go like the LeBron sexuals, right? You say something bad about LeBron, you're gonna get swarmed, like the Beehive. Like all these things exist for all these people. But no one really gives an objective point of view. So I try to be objective, right? The thing about being objective is objective doesn't go viral. What goes viral is when you go crazy on one side.
One way or the other.
Being objective, the Canadian boy getting cooked right now. That's all I want to say. Put that on the record. Let's get to some of these comments, Corey. And once I finish these comments, I want to know how you feel about it.
All right.
Outside of the business-wise, hip-hop-wise. But give me a second. Let me catch up on these comments. Pascal said I haven't listened to any of them. Brandon is in the building. What's up, Brandon? All right, down to earth. I don't even know what's going on, and that's probably a good thing. Adrian,
this is generation past what you really into.
Listen, it is a good thing. It's a great thing. Rich says it's like when Cube was still on Priority Records. They just move people around, but it's still under the same umbrella. Yeah, he was dissing Priority. That's the crazy part. All right, Jose says I have Kendrick over Drake. The beef is needed in hip hop today, but it lacks the urgency of past beefs. Well, see, that's the other thing too, though. Like revisionist history is crazy. Not saying with you, Jose, but in general, because outside of like, kissing beans in the game, most of those like response and rebuttal songs all took months. Yeah, I know. It took like a whole year, like before he came back with that. Like, it doesn't seem like it now, right? Because Beans and Kiss was like, yo, give me 2 hours and I'm back at your neck. Like, it was.
Yeah, that was genuine dislike though. That was like, I really don't like you, and when it's more the more genuine it is, the faster the rebuttal was going to happen.
Yeah, man. Like it's just crazy, man. So Jamil says, thumbs down, 4 thumbs down to the Nasal Man and his trash cadence. Overall, this is uneventful because none of them joints have any rewind or long-term replay value.
I dispute that.
So I disagree with that, Jamil, and I assume you're talking about K-Dot or Kendrick when you say the Nasal Man, because Kendrick is good for changing voices, which I'm not always a fan of. But I think it does have replay value. And the reason I say that is because the Easter eggs in there, right? And some people say, well, Easter eggs really aren't meant for battle. You're supposed to come out and just be disrespectful. But this is why it really depends upon how you like hip hop and what you like hip hop for. I grew up on Rakim, where I literally, this is not a lie, just caught a Rakim bar from like 88, probably like a year ago. And I was sitting there like, I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I love like the Easter eggs and all that. And I know it's real nerdy. Somebody on Twitter told me you belong in a group full of, they said, hip hop people with autism or something. He said, because y'all like all that digging and finding and having to read stuff. I'm like, it might be the nerd in me, right? So for me, that's where the replay value lies. Like, what did he say here? You know what I mean? It's not right out disrespectful, but if you start digging and you pull back the Easter eggs, he's really disrespectful.
No,
it's like
listen, I'm gonna tell you
this. My man, mental health.
I'm gonna say like this, man. He was blatantly disrespectful on a couple of those lines, which I liked. Like he was just flat out like he called my man out his name. He called my man a bitch like 3 times in the song.
Yo, and did it in different ways. That's the other part.
Yeah, like he literally called him a bitch, and then he called him like I was like, hold on, like I thought this was he said it was a friendly fade. My man called him a bitch 3 times in the song.
On the newest joint, he told Main Man to live in his purpose. You know how disrespectful and like how you dissing me, but then telling me to go live in my purpose. You know how disrespectful that is?
That's wild. That is some wild stuff to say to another dude. Like
Rich, yes, I agree. I probably have listened to Drake more, but I think Kendrick is better. And that's kind of Rich falls in the same line as me. So Ether took months. Yeah, it definitely took months. It took definitely months. It was months that went through. So Jamil said there hasn't been any quality rap beef. So this is in the past 15 to 19 years since social media and the game's GU Not campaign. Rap beef has been mainly off-wax antics aimed to embarrass each other. Now that part I will agree with. There's been a lot of subliminals and a lot of things like that, but people take it too far on the socials because they don't even respond on records. They just be trying to meet up and rumble. Like it's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
I
you
read
gotta
an
look at the
article.
way that people react now, right? They got social media. Like a lot of our rap beef didn't have social media,
Yeah,
so
you got to go in
it
front
went
of
through the
97 and
actual
let the
media.
hammer go.
So it went through the actual media, so it moved a lot slower, right? These rap beefs don't move that slow no more because of Twitter and because of IG and because of X and all of these other social media sites. It don't move the same pace no more. So when you have rap beef between Biggie and Pop, Biggie took a year to respond to what Pac said. Pac took a year to respond to Biggie. Like it ain't just happened. That stuff happened over months and weeks and years, right? So people forget that when we didn't have social media, it had to go through. You had to make the record, get it on wax, get it on radio, get it in the magazines. Then you can get it out there. Like you had to go through like 15 different steps. When Main Man decided, when Drake decided that he was going to bait my man, he just went and pressed the button on his jaw, and he had 2 disses ready, fired back 2 days back to back. You know what I mean? Like when Drake said, "Look, I'm gonna do push-ups and TaylorMade back to back," my man ain't had to go through 15 different steps to put them 2 diss songs out. My man had social media, so he went and put it out, which is a whole different vibe. When we talking about these rap beats and you talking about the money and the streaming and all that other stuff, you got to look at the context in which they being put out. You know what I mean? Like, so they got access that these other rappers didn't have when they was trying to beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yance is in the building. What's up, Yance? Jamil says you can make a case for the Chicago boys dissing each other, but that's actual neighborhood beef and not rap beef. That's not rare. That's not rap beef. They got street beef. They just talking about
street beef
wax.
that end up on vinyl. That's different than actual rap beef. These dudes is rapping about each other. Like I like rap beef. I don't like street beef that spill over onto wax, because if you got street beef that spill over onto wax, people are going to jail. So I don't want to. I'm good on that. Like I like messiness. I don't really want to see nobody go to jail. You know what I mean? Like I want to see them talk shit about each other, but I don't really want to see nobody actually go to jail. Like,
I get you.
You know what I mean? Like 50 did Ja Rule. Like I like that. Like I like the petty level of 50 and Ja Rule. Like I like the fact that he's been petty for the last 25 years. Like I'm good with that. I'm good with that because it's rap beef that spilled over into real life instead of real life spilling over into rap beef.
Got you.
So it's not like Ja Rule is still could feed his kids. Ja Rule still had multiple, you know what I mean? Hit then concerts. He's still on TV every day. He been on Drink Champs, and so he not dead. You know what I mean? His career never took back off because 50 did him kind of dirty.
So Jose says that living your purpose line was hilarious. It's so dismissive, right? And I talk about this with Core all the time. I was like, yo, the opposite of like love isn't hate. It's like dismissive.
It's dismissive. It's indifference.
Yeah,
right?
when you have indifference to someone, it's like it's just total. That's total. Yo, go live in your purpose, man. Like that was so. It's like, yo, you're not even on my level. Like, just go live in your purpose. Rich says, I still feel like Infrared talked to Drake's soul. Yeah, push went crazy with that.
Yo,
Push went crazy with that.
I'm gonna tell you like this. You might not agree with what I'm saying. This is the most disrespectful rap track. Euphoria might be the most disrespectful rap track in the last 20 years, man. Like it's that 50 level disrespect. Like it's disrespectful as hell, bro. Like you gotta listen to what he called this man. He called my man a thought and said he pop ass. Like, you know how disrespectful that is.
Y'all have no idea how much Corey. Y'all have no idea how much Corey enjoys this.
Yo, do you know how disrespectful that is to put on wax? There's a lot of things you could call a grown man, but to call another a man calling another grown man a thought is super disrespectful.
All right, so like, Saeed at a BC, what's good? What's good?
Yeah, what's going on?
So Jamil's also says most memorable diss songs of the past 8 years, with a few months of replay value, was Mace's Oracle or MGK's Rap Devil. But Cam's response was weaker than Curtis, and M been in a garbage can since he been sober. Oh, that's hard coming from someone from Detroit, pause. But crazy part about the Mace Cam thing, Mace definitely won that one. But I remember listening to Cam's response, and I was telling folks like, that's still his man. Like, it's like both of them was like punching with kid gloves on, and now you see them working together and all that, and you realize that they didn't really want to go at each other. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it is what it is, man. So, and I actually am one of the only people that love MGK's Rap Devil. I just thought the video was funny because it was mad nonchalant and like disrespectful. So you know, I like that. I like the indifference. Darren is in the building. What's up, Darren?
I thought I liked indifference until you hear disrespect, and then.
All right, so even on a Drake song, when he be like, "Yo, Metro, go make some drums."
That was dismissive as hell. Like that was so dismissive and so disrespectful. Like I like that. That was my favorite thing about the Drake disc. Like it wasn't even the Jones. He
it wasn't even a bar. Like yo,
anybody else. He gave my man half a bar that was the most dismissive, disrespectful thing you could say to another grown man. Like damn, yo, man. I don't know, man. Like some of these rap battles is cheeks, and this one is not really that great. But Euphoria changed that for me because I thought this was going to be cheeks, and then the level of disrespect that Kenny put on Drake is
And the funny thing is, like, so the other one, the timestamp record that he dropped today, which I found funny also because being on Twitter, like, and this is the thing, right? I think Kendrick is cooking ball, but Kendrick fans might be some of the worst too because they make so some things are deeper than surface level, but they go way too far with it. Like if you just go to Twitter and look up what is the meaning of 616, you're gonna find things, dog, that lead back to like the pyramids. You know what I'm saying? Like the shooting of JFK. Like they take it way too far, and that could be a little irritating too. So I think that's gonna be part of Main Man's angle when he comes back because he's definitely responding. Like, you know, he's definitely responding. But but again, the whole idea of tying this into wealth talk, right? Because that's what we do, is interesting because art has value, right? Whether it's like a painting, whether it's a piece of work in terms of music, it has value. And a lot of times, and this is some of the conversations that I have with younger men in Philadelphia specifically, about the games they play and how they are pawns in a bigger game. Not saying these two gentlemen don't know because they're licensing their music and they're doing what they got to do, but it just reminds me of like a bigger conversation, right? When you talk about the criminal justice system, when you talk about all the different systems that play and how a lot of our young men are pawns and other people are getting paid. Remember we did that presentation in the community in West Philly, and I shared that slide about like the prison REITs. And the response everybody gave, I was looking like,
it's like, look, man, he's like,
they didn't even realize it.
Yeah, what dude said in that slide was so crazy disrespectful.
It was a Caucasian gentleman. He was talking about he ran one of these REITs that basically is filled with prisons, right? So it's prisons, and he was talking about how he looks forward to young black and brown men getting arrested. Makes his REIT more valuable. And this is like in the public, he put this out there, right? But it's what the point I'm making is there's a different game going on.
He flat out say, I legislate for that shit because I gotta fill my prisons.
Yeah, he said that. He said he has a political action committee that donates money to certain candidates that are going to help to keep his prisons full, right? Anyway, that's just an example though, but there's other examples, right? So even within the music industry, there's always been rumors about the folks that actually have the ownership, how they contribute to some of these things. Now, I'm not trying to get like, what's my man name on minutes? I ain't trying to be what's the boy? The boy that the Muslim boy menace.
Muslim boy menace. I forget his name.
Sharif. I ain't trying to go extra. I ain't trying to be extra Sharif on y'all, but it's something I always think about, right? So anytime I see two folks, I'll say, who's behind this? Who's getting paid? And maybe it's me being too much of a pocket watcher. So. You know what I mean?
Nah, man, if you really want to find out who behind something, you got to find out who getting paid from it.
Yeah, it's a distraction to me at the moment. Yeah, Darren, that's the true story. Like I'm gonna try to.
That's fact.
Yeah, shared it on one of our community events. I'm gonna find those slides and the names so you can actually look it up. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I will bring it back to the Friday show. But it's a true story, but I think about that often with everything, right? I think about that. I even think about that when I'm watching basketball. And they say such and such signed a deal for X amount. And I think like, who getting a piece of his bread? Who's his agent? You know what I mean? Like,
what percentage of that actually goes to them?
That could be pocket watching, but I look at it from a different standpoint, man, because
who's watching their pocket? But the thing is, somebody needs to watch their pockets. Like, somebody needs to help them maintain that wealth, because we already know that 65% of them is going to end up broke. Because that's what the numbers say.
Another reason why I think about this stuff, right? Because when we start talking about true wealth, and people get upset when I say we don't have no wealth, and they start pointing at like the handful of billionaires that are in the world that exist, that are people of color, and I'm like, we really don't have no wealth. Like, we don't have any systems or structure. Like, we don't own anything. Some of us do better than others, but we ain't got no real wealth. Like, we don't have true wealth.
See, wealth is controlling systems, right? We don't control any of the. We don't control any of the natural resources or the construction resources or any of those things that actually contribute to true wealth. We don't control the means of production of anything anywhere in the world. And the place where we had control of that, which was Africa, you see what happens over there. Companies go over there and they go over there and snatch the means of production away from the people and get them pennies on the dollar. And because we're building infrastructure, it's foolishness.
Yeah, who knew that a conversation about Drake and Kendrick could lead here? But this is where we are. So, Rich says Jimmy Iovine was the winner with hip hop beefs. Yeah, he made a killing and made a killing off Dr. Dre in general. So, Emeka says, speaking of that, don't some of these owners have insurance policies structured on the rappers in those urban drill scenes? Yeah, I read about that too, and you see that often. You see it in sports too. I mean, you see it even when you get a mortgage.
I see it in regular ass jobs, banks and stuff like that. Yeah. Teachers, like, if you don't know, most teachers unions have policies on their teachers.
That's crazy. So they running plays when you don't even realize it, because something happened to you is going to go into their coffers. And
yep.
But yeah, I seen that, like, when you get an investment property and some people will give you a great rate, but you got to sign this thing to get an insurance policy. It's all what my man Omar say, man. You got the briefcase, I got the gun, but it's all in the game. It's all in the game. They still playing ass doing a lot of iron patch. I'll find out what's going on. Hopefully it's not as bad as it was the one time. Rochelle says, hey, what's up, Rochelle? Pascal says, all I know is that they are both two multimillionaires. I'm focused on getting my millions. This is true. You know what I mean? And nothing wrong with looking at it that way too. But, I just try to take a peel back the layer and see what's really going on. Like, So Jamil says, I think the argument that outside forces are benefiting is a moot point. Okay. Hip hop was built off battles. Liar got just as paid off Jack the Ripper as he did I Need Love. And Jimmy got just as paid off of Hit 'Em Up as he did Dear Mama. So I don't know about it being a moot point if you can orchestrate and put a certain energy out there to get people to go at each other. Because even when you think about this, what is the real reason these two dudes are beefing?
They don't like each other.
It's simple as that. Like, but there's nothing really, like, there's a lot of people that may dislike me or not like me. I don't feel the need to address them. You know what I mean? Like, but again, that's why I don't know that it's a moot point. And
they flat out like, listen, man. He told the boy, man, like, listen, you got wolves and vultures around you, and I'm gonna be your old head and tell you, like, you not safe, bro. Like, he sunned that dude. Like, look, dog, you are not safe.
I personally know the guy that was running Vibe magazine during the East Coast West Coast joint, because me and him was supposed to do some business together. And we sat down to dinner one night, and he told me, he said, yo, that quote unquote made up beef, because they're the ones that put that out there, the East Coast West Coast thing, they made more money off of that than they did anything else. And this is a entity that covered pretty much everything in Black culture. But that East Coast West Coast beef made them millions and millions of money. So I say that to say, I don't know if they make the same thing off I Need Love as Jack the Ripper or Hit 'Em Up as Dear Mama. I don't know. I mean, but I can't answer that. But I do know that there is a certain level of energy where, especially with these, you spring up Chicago with these new young artists, they be telling them to go at each other, and they burn out after 18 months, and then they on to the next one. So K Diggy says, any job giving you life insurance, you know what's up. Facts. Look, man, they pimping you, you got to pimp them, pimp the system. As my my guys from Dead Press would say. Let me recant Mook and say overreaching. I understand what you mean, Jamil. I just because here's the other part about this, right? Outside of the money, what else tends to happen when they create this energy that makes these gentlemen go at each other, right? Other part of this that happens is all their entourages and people that look like them that end up clapping at each other, fighting each other, shooting each other, they end up going into the system too. And they're the ones that we don't hear about, but this happens often. Yeah. Remember when like Little Kim and Foxy was beefing, like folks was like clapping at each other outside,
yeah.
like it's like
studios and clubs clapping at each other.
It's easy to say it's a moot point and they're only going to make the same amount of money they would off something else, but you create an energy that gets a lot of people. Yo, when 50 was beefing with Khaled and all that, he was putting his mom's work address, like they was taking it too far, like, and that's why I don't think it's a moot point, I guess, or overreaching. I think you put negative energy out, negative things happen. Hopefully, what we're talking about, like the catalyst for this conversation, just stays on wax, stays a fun thing, stays like an online Twitter thing, so we can make our jokes. But I just think that, man, we got to be careful. And also, listen, man, anytime something goes on, find out where the money is going. Jamil says, so where's the pitchforks for Russell, Suge, and Quincy? Well, they got pitchforks for Holder. First of all, Suge is in prison.
Russell, they trying to get him in there.
Yeah, Russell, they working on Russell right now. And Quincy almost in his 90s. So he may have beat it, but I mean, I've heard things about him coming out recently as well. And I don't think that it wasn't pitchforks for them even years ago. Like, see, Dolores Tucker clapped at everybody. She wasn't just picking on white folks. She clapped at everybody. Nobody was saying this during the Nas versus Jay-Z. That's not true either. I disagree with that too.
He was younger during those days. With a lot of people were saying the exact same thing we said.
Absolutely, they were. So I mean, and again, I'm not trying to, come off as a Sharif or nothing. I'm just saying I like to look and see where the bread is going. That's all I'm saying. Like I enjoy it.
I like to know who getting paid off of. When our energy is being used, I want to know who getting paid off of it.
Shout to JT, but he ain't the only pocket watcher online. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it that
I track money when I'm interested. And so
I track it all the time on things I'm not even interested in. And the reason I do that is because I think my life is designed to studying value in a weird way. So I want to see how things are valued. And that's every job. If I come across a job that I'm not familiar with, the first thing I do is, how much does somebody in that field make?
Getting paid.
What does it take to get in that field, right? Because of me, I think it's interesting to see as a culture in a country how we value certain things. So that's how I do pocket watch a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I
guess I don't know if it's pocket watching to figure out how much the average salary for something is, if you know what I mean. Like, but
by the way, Jamil, people definitely was saying this on the Nas Jay-Z war. It actually stopped because Jay-Z mom was like, you wilding.
Like, yeah, you taking it too far.
Yeah, you wilding.
Super ugly was she was like, bro, that's enough.
Yeah, that's not even who you are. Emeka says Russell's in exile. My man Russell been sitting in the same yoga pose in Bali for like the last 10 years. He said they are not going to get me, yo. He said they not going to get me, yo. Russell's not coming back. He's gone. Yeah, we only see him on socials. Yeah, Russell stepped foot over here. He's done.
Yeah, he's going into the slammer. He too old for that. He's 60-something, 70-something years old. He's not trying to play around in American jails. He got hundreds of millions of dollars. There's no way he's playing around in American jails. So, so we can say that they didn't comfort him, but they did comfort him. Like, Dan is in the building. Dan said, what's good? What's good, Dan? How's Tay? I hope everything's well. Yeah, man. So that's kind of my perspective on this thing, man. Like, overall, I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? I think Kendrick right now is up. You know what I mean? But I think the boy's going to respond. I don't think he can mess with Kendrick though, honestly, because Kendrick is too witty. Like, but I think that he knows how to engage his own fan base, right? So in 2024, you don't have to win. You just have to give your people what they want to hear. Yep. You see what I'm saying? And that's the difference. And I think that he's smart enough to know that. Darren says, I have a question to ask you personally. I mean, if you want to send it to me personally, that's cool.
You inbox me, email me, text me, whatever you want to do. If you want to ask here, that's cool too. I don't know how personal it is, but you know, it is what it is. I'm pretty transparent with life, you know. So anyway, man, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. In terms of the whole the business of battle rap, I think that's interesting as well. Shout out to all the actual real battle rappers out there and what they got going on. Because I see elements of that within this. So that's dope too.
Yeah,
man. But cool. What's your thoughts overall, bro?
I don't know how disrespectful Drake is willing to get, but if he's not gonna go with Kenny when he's not winning this battle, because my man called him everything but a child of God in that damn song, bro. He called my man everything. He said, "You a bad pop. You got robbed. I'm gonna send Puff to smack you again. I'm a like you pop ass with you a thought and you like to pop ass like you a liar, a habitual liar. You a snake." Like he called my man everything. I'm like, yo, if you're not willing to go where he went, you're not winning. So
the funniest part about that one is when he said, "Yo," he's like, "Yo, I don't like the way that you walk. I don't like the way that you dress." And then he said something like, "And I don't want to hear you say nigga no more." And
I ignored that part because
and then he said, "I know it ain't that deep, but sometimes it just is what it is. Like I just don't like that about you." Like
yeah, but
that was funny.
That's the line I actually had the most problem with is Kendrick telling somebody he don't like the way they dress. Yo,
yeah.
Like Kendrick, dog, have you ever seen yourself in public, dog? Like,
yeah, he be out here looking like Bruce Lee.
Like, are you crazy? Like, are you telling somebody you don't like the way they dress? Like, have you ever seen a mirror, bro? But other than that, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'm just saying.
That definitely was a DMX shout out. Remember DMX was in the Breakfast Club. He was like, "I don't like dude. I don't like the way he look. I don't like the way he dress."
I know where it came from, but I just don't, you know. Like,
all right, so here
I think Drake is funnier. I just think Kenny he's just a better rapper. I'm
gonna get back to this. I'm gonna get back to this comment in a second because I'm laughing at Darren says popping cheeks with sexy red. Pause. Yeah, that was very disrespectful. Cookie's in the building. What's up, Cookie? All right, what else we got? I'm gonna get back to that comment. All right, yeah, let's. He said, yeah, that's Kung Fu Kenny, Chef the Kung Fu Kenny. But all right, so Emeka says that Earl Sweatshirt is the closest thing to this generation's Nasir. I don't know if I can co-sign it. And the funny thing is, I think Earl Sweatshirt can rap. It's just that
he's not on that level.
Nasir is like
he's not on that level, and I'm not even a Nas fan. He's not on that level. He's not nearly on that level.
Here, but Nas is like,
I've made my Nas. You know, I like Nas. I'm just not enamored with Nas the same way most people are. Like,
listen, man, Nas is God tier.
I think he made either the best or the second best rap album of all time.
So here's the thing, though. Earl Sweatshirt can rap. I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest Earl Sweatshirt fan. Earl Sweatshirt doesn't have an Illmatic. Earl Sweatshirt doesn't have a Stillmatic. Earl Sweatshirt doesn't have the moments in the culture that Nas has.
Yeah, he don't got
hasn't been battle tested by another one of the guys.
New stuff, like he's not on that level. He's nice.
Yeah, it's just Nas
levels to the game, and Earl Sweatshirt is not on that level.
Even though he's dope. But I'm thinking about like people of his generation. Like I like Corday better than Earl Sweatshirt. I do. Like I just do. Right. You know. But anyway, man. So it's
what
just
happened to the gray? I thought his name was Earl Grey Sweatshirt. What happened to the gray part?
I don't know. I don't remember that part. I just know him as Earl Sweatshirt with Our Future. You know, Golf Wayne and all that.
I think the boy that you was talking about playing in Asia is the one.
Yeah, Planet Asia is a little old though. He's been around since the.
I'm
90s.
just saying, like, you know.
Yeah, I definitely listen to Planet Asia. Like that's my super underground.
On a whole nother, like.
He been in his own world, but Earl Sweatshirt is dope. I just think that like in terms of that generation, there's a couple other folks I like better than him, but I don't think either one of them is. Wordsworth. Whoa, I ain't heard that name in a long time. I went back and dug up Wordsworth discography. Forgot how nice he was. What makes you even think to dig up Wordsworth discography?
Right. I would have never thought to dig that up.
Random. Like That's like saying I just went back and listened to Smiles and South Star. Like this is mad random. Wordsworth. Anyway, so that's what's going on, man, in the world of hip hop. Other than that, man, everything's good. You know, we about 45 minutes in. We cut a little early this week, you dig? Other than that, man, Corey, you got anything else going on? Like what you watching? Like how's life treating you?
I watched my team get eliminated, and I know too many New Yorkers, and so they've been trolling me all week. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen, because if we would have eliminated them, I would have trolled the hell out of them too. So
yeah,
respectfully. So I mean, they did what they supposed to do. So you know what I mean, trolling is this is what's supposed to happen when your team get eliminated. The team that eliminated them, you know, I'll take all the trolling from the New York people, but if you're not a New Yorker, I don't want to hear anything about anything from you, because your team didn't eliminate mine.
I haven't really watched anything this week, but this weekend I got some work to do. I got some writing to do, but I probably after today, I had like the 15th or 20th person tell me like, yo, you need to watch Shogun. I haven't watched it. Don't know what it's about. I know a little bit about the history of the Shoguns, but I don't know what this specific thing is about on FX. Before we get out of here, I want to know, has anybody watched Shogun, and is it really like that? Because I've had literally about 15 to 20 people, I lost count, say, yo, you got to watch this thing called Shogun. So I was like, well, if that many people tell me,
I need you to watch it first and tell me, is the violence level appropriate for my
I got to see if there's enough murder, death, kill in there.
I need you to watch it first and tell me, is the level of violence appropriate.
All right, see, so now this is the first person to say this. Rock Noxious said, nah, Shogun ain't it. So you're the first person. So now, I mean, so I want to know, like, anybody else watch it?
I don't even need to know if it's good or not. What's the violence level?
Yeah, so I want somebody let me know if you watched it. And
we got two different opinions.
Jamil said, peace to the God, powerful Jabbar Allah. Jamil be tripping. Yo, that boy Embiid complained because more Knicks fans showed up at their home game. I know y'all not standing behind that soft-ish.
What's soft about that? It's a home game. Why the hell is all these Knicks fans in a Philly home game? Like, it's not a complaint.
I think
that's what happened.
I don't even know how to respond, like, because I don't like the way that they complain, but I think this all comes from like leadership. Nick Nurse that's actually what he's known for. Like, there was a survey recently done, like the 5 coaches that they went to the league players, and the top 5 coaches nobody wants to play for, and Nick Nurse was on the list. And the number one reason he was on the list, they said, is because all he does is complain to the refs all day game long. Doc Rivers, I think, was the head of that list, but that's either here nor there. So Jose says, I enjoy Shogun. Solid show. Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about Jamil, Planet Asia. He's God body. Yeah. Yeah, you know today's mathematics. So I got one says yay, one says nay. Rock Noxious says it's a Catholic versus Protestant beef in Japanese setting. There's some chop, but not enough.
All right.
76ers tickets are 1/3 the price of MSG tickets. So fact. So I'm gonna check it out though, because I had so many people that I gotta check this out though.
See, I don't care about the beef between people unless that beef results in somebody getting murdered, death, killed, or stabbed, or shot, or punched in the face.
I'm pretty sure that happens. When you talk about that from a historical standpoint, more people died because of the church than anything else.
No, I know this, but what I'm saying is, when I watch a show,
heads was getting chopped off.
No, when I watch a show, unless somebody, like every show, even if it's for 5 minutes, I need to see somebody get beat up, stabbed, slapped, shot, or killed. Like, I just need this. I gotta see violence.
My brother got past trauma, y'all. Like, don't forgive him, man. He dealing with past trauma, man.
There's no trauma involved in that.
I need to see violence. I take that by itself, right?
I don't want to watch people just talk about issues. We talk about, like, that's like me watching a podcast. I don't want.
Yeah, but no, but
I'm watching TV.
I like. It's almost like I like chess. So you get to see people like play chess in real life scenarios, like, you know what I mean. So that's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Man,
but you want to see literal violence, man.
No, I need to see somebody hand go to somebody's face. Open hand, closed hand. I need to, yeah.
Ant says he said him and his girl just started season 2 of Them. On the first episode, they boil somebody alive. The chorus said, let me just check that. He could bang with that though, right?
Yeah, I can give you that a little bit. Like for me, like if I'm watching the show,
if I chop that one clip, you see how crazy. I just need to see violence.
Hey, listen,
man,
you can chop that clip up because that's really what it is.
All right, so some questions from Jamil. Will LeBum? First of all, LeBum is disrespectful.
Super.
Where Don at, man? Because I know Don like taking up for LeBron, man. Now you see what Jamil over here doing, man? Will he finally retire or switch teams again? Will the Lakers bring Lou back or JJ Redick? Interesting question. I know Darvin Ham has already been let go. There's actually a lot of LeBron and Philly rumors. I don't know.
There's nothing in Philly for LeBron.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no upside to LeBron coming to Philly. There's zero upside to that.
Rock says Them is wild. Rich says Them is fire. All right, so now I gotta look up this Them. Because, y'all give me a new recommendation. All right, let's see what Them is. Is something I ever looked up before? Them. Oh, it's on Amazon? All right, so yeah, I never watched Them. All right, so now I got something else. Them. Shout to y'all for that. Unpopular opinion: the Sixers should have kept and built around Iguodala back in the day. Ooh, that's a long time ago. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would have worked. I think it worked out good for both sides.
Yes,
Iggy has never been a number one.
He's not a number one player. He's a number three. At his height, he's a number three. At the best of his ability, he was a number 3 player. He was what Tobias Harris should be.
So here's the crazy part. He thrived when he didn't have to be the man, right? And he talks about this on his podcast. Like, there's a difference of when they're looking to you to score 25, 30 a night, or where you can just go in there and do all the things you do. And the funny thing is, by him going into Golden State and doing that, now he's a borderline Hall of Fame guy. He's on a borderline, but he would have never
numbers he put up when he was a number 1.
Yeah, he would have never got that if he would have stayed in Philly. And I think it worked out best for both of them because the Sixers, have made themselves relevant again. They haven't been able to get over the hump. It is what it is. But only one team is happy at the end of the season. Jose says, every episode has a level of violence and disrespect. The show is subtitled, so be prepared to read as you watch. Interesting. I'm a fan of dubs over subs. You know what I'm saying? Team dubs. You know what I mean? Jabbar said, good evening. What's up, Bar? He says, Harris is trash. $180 million for zero. All right, so Rock says, I'm biased because I think Deborah Ayorin, I don't want to say her name wrong. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Ayorin is fire, whoever that may be. It touches on white flight, but in a horror setting first season. I think you like it, but the second season stepped up. I think I did watch the first season. Is it when a black family moves into a neighborhood and they start treating them crazy? Is that them? If so, I think I saw like 1 or 2 episodes. Never watched the full season though. You know why? Because I think that is it. Because it's on Amazon, and I tend not to go to Amazon to watch stuff. I have no idea why. But when I sit down and watch TV, I never click on the Amazon app. It's crazy. Dog has 9 coaches in 20 seasons, 4 in the past 7. Not to mention the one stat nobody speaks about: the most teammates in NBA history. It's safe to say that's not safe to say he's a bum. How you call somebody a bum who has more? He also has more points than anybody who ever lived in the NBA, right? That one stat
top
alone.
5 assists, top 5 assists and rebounds, and top 5 assists, top 10 in rebounds in league history, and the number 1 scorer in league history. He calling him a bum. Like, come on, bro. Like,
I don't know what your standards are, man. I'll put it like this.
And I'll tell you this: without it, that's a Hall of Fame resume. Without championship, my man got 4 chips. Like, you can talk about all the teammates he's had, but he got 4 chips out of that. Like,
here's the other part, right? I grew up at a time, right? I never thought Mike was the GOAT. I was never a Mike GOAT guy. I always thought Kareem was the GOAT, right? And I always thought Magic was up there too. I always thought that like Magic and Kareem were like 2 of the top 5 players I've ever seen play. This dude got more points than Kareem and more assists than Magic. That alone, like, I'm just gonna leave it alone.
I thought Magic Johnson was the best player I ever seen in my life until probably Jordan. not even Jordan, not past Jordan, because I thought Magic was better than Jordan until Jordan flamed him in the finals.
Yeah, but at that point, Magic he was old. His team was like a whole different team.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I thought Magic Johnson was the best player I ever seen.
People forget that part. The Magic team that made it to the finals to play Jordan, they weren't even supposed to make it to the finals, dog. It was like D-Rock, and it was a nasty team. Like they was supposed to have been Portland that year, supposed to make it, but they I think they were either the sixth seed or something like that. They were very low. Anyway, with all that being said, Jamil, though that's fake news right there, man. I'm not saying he's the greatest because I don't get into great. I don't think anybody is the greatest, right? And if you want my perspective on who's the greatest, go get my book called Sports the Book. You can go to sportsthebook.com to get that physical or because I actually have a sports book that I wrote, and I talk about the idea of having the best player. So I don't think he's the greatest, but to call him a bum is kind of wild.
Yeah, I don't think he's
to the hall for sure, bruv. Rich says, yeah. All right, so Jabbar says Netflix is a lot smoother than Amazon finding stuff you like. I agree. K. Diggy says, let's talk about the old head epidemic in the NBA. LeBron 39, Lowry 38, PG 34, Harden 35, this summer Kawhi 33, but his knees. Kobe retired at 37. I think that this playoffs has shown that these young boys don't care about these old heads.
Yeah, like get out of there, old head.
Lowry is going. You know what I'm saying? Like
Brian out of here, Lowry out of here,
AD is out of here.
Harden about to get out of here.
Steph out of here. These young boys ain't playing no games with these old heads. So I think that we're seeing a change in the guard literally in this playoffs. Think about it. There's no KD, Steph, or LeBron already. We didn't get past the first round. There's no KD, Steph, or LeBron. Just that by itself. Like, and Ant not only took KD out, he talked crazy to him the whole way. Like,
and swept him.
swept him while talking filthy to him.
Dirty.
Yeah. Changing the guard. Jabbar says points. So Emeka says LeBron in Philly will be wild. Pat Riley is still salty about the way Bron left. Maybe he can run it back in Miami. The Rant should have gone to Miami after Brooklyn instead of flaming out in Phoenix. Yeah, flaming out in Phoenix looks crazy now, especially because they keep trying to build around you. It's just not working. Like it just.
They don't got a first round pick until 2031.
KD's gonna be one of those guys that when he's done, he's never going to get the credit he deserves because his legacy is going to be tied to you couldn't win without Steph. Like a lot of it's unfair, but he gonna be one of them guys. Watch how the narrative about him changes once he retires.
I'll tell you this: if he would have stayed in Golden State, because the thing that ran him out of Golden State wasn't the Golden State, where it was the energy between him and the bull,
Draymond.
Like he couldn't deal with the Draymond energy no more. It was too much.
So Rich says 10 finals alone, I can't call him a bum. I agree, Rich. Like, and none of those coaches were a superstar coach.
Right. He turned Tyronn Lue into a household name for something besides, you know what I mean, getting stepped on by Iverson.
So Jabbar says Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, just look up his stats, his numbers, his rings. We all know who the real GOAT is. I'm not going to argue about Kareem, but, you know, I don't get into the GOAT debates. Ant says Bron not a bum, but he's not better than Kobe, so we can hang that up. Ultimately saying he's not better than MJ either. So the funny thing about that is that's like I know it sounds crazy, but that's kind of a newer narrative. Kobe has been rebranded by passing. And rest in peace to Kobe. Because, you know, played with Kobe. Well, not played with him, played against Kobe coming up. But that was never even a question until Kobe passed. It was always a Jordan and LeBron thing. Kobe passing somehow put him in that conversation. And that's no disrespect because Kobe's one of the greatest ever play ball.
I'll tell you somebody who I think played in that era is better than both of them.
Who's that?
Tim Duncan. I think Tim Duncan might be the best player of that era.
I think there's an argument to be made. So for me, again, I'm not going to go too far on either side. I think there's an argument. You can make that argument. You absolutely can make that argument.
And he was one shot away from being 6-0 in the finals.
But people don't like to put big guys as their GOAT. And it's something about, like, you know, this is unrelatable.
Tim Duncan was 5-1 in the finals. People never had a losing season. Got like a 575 winning percentage for his whole career. Never had a losing season.
No. We can pull the stats in all of them.
All defensive team.
Dog, you don't have to get
MVP.
You don't have to get
Tim Duncan is that.
You don't have to get stats. But here's my point: people want a wing player. They don't want Bill Russell. They don't want Wilt. They don't want Shaq. They don't want Kareem. They want somebody that plays on a wing. They want a Mike, a Kobe, LeBron. a T-Mac, somebody like that. Like that's what it is. It's a wing bias. So Jabbar, the funny thing is, this is actually not a sports night. We started off by talking about hip hop people. We went all over. We talked about hip hop.
We all over the place, but it's our show, so we can be.
Yeah, that's how we do on Friday. We want to talk about hip hop beef, led into talk about like criminal justice system. Like we all over the place. People just started bringing up sports topics, so we start talking about it. In the words of Steve Kerr, I love him just as much as Mike. Mike brought me 3, and so did LeBum. It's from Jamil, by the way. I'm looking for Don. Don must have went away because I want Don to check Jamil because Jamil is out of pocket. Tanelia's in the building. What's up, Tanelia? Black Clover. Yo, it's from Jabbar, by the way. Jabbar says that the new generation is already here. Max seen a lot of these guys have stepped up during these playoffs. They show that they got the skills, and I'm tired of watching coaches put young players on the bench and playing old dudes that still can't play or don't have it anymore. Yeah, so, 6-0 in the NBA is GOAT status. Again, I don't think there is a GOAT status.
This. Bill Russell played 13 years in the NBA. He went to the finals 12 times and won 11. You can talk all the trash you want. My man played 13 seasons and went to the finals 12 times in 13 seasons.
I mean, that's why I don't believe in GOATs. I just don't. He certainly can't be compared to LeBron at all. That's what America says.
All the trash in the world you want. You can talk about how it was only 8 teams. You can talk all that shit. My man was in the league 13 years and went to the finals 12 times.
So Don says
if he's not in your GOAT conversation, then who is? Don
says KD never lived up to his full potential, just like Shaq. I don't disagree with that. Dom, do you see Jamil talking crazy about Bron, though? I just want to see if Don sees this, man.
Yo, so 91% is not 100%, right? And dog, let me ask you this.
Well, hold on, real quick.
What percentage of the seasons did Jordan actually go to the finals? What percentage of the seasons that he played did he actually go to the finals?
I want to get to these comments. So, because Rich says, I really have seen a narrative change with Kobe over time. Rich, so it's not just me. You've seen it too. Folks hated Ball. Hated him. TD is top 5, no question. That is from Don. Pascal says Twin Towers. Well, with Twin Towers, when you say Twin Towers to me, I think of Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon because that's the real Twin Towers.
Exactly.
Anyway, so now Ant says maybe to others, but nah, I always knew Kobe was better. It all comes to mindset, bro. Bro, I never really had it. D-Wade carried brother Miami. Carried him how?
What?
He led Miami in every major category. First of all, like I think there was 08-09 LeBron might have been one of the greatest like seasons ever of anybody in any sport. D-Wade carrying him.
That's false. That is the fakest ass fake news.
In fact, they didn't start winning until D-Wade took a step back and said, yo, this is your team. I'm gonna follow your lead. That's when they started winning.
Went absolutely berserk.
He left Earth. He left Earth at that. And again, I'm not into the whole GOAT thing. Jordan was lame too. They both had commissioners, refs, and networks as their 6th man. AC Greenwood had them stats. Yeah, Jamil, you out of pocket right now,
though. Far out of pocket, bro.
You out of pocket, right? Because is there a certain thing as like star players getting calls? Absolutely, but that's not limited to just those folks. So in AC Green didn't have the skill set to do some of these things. Like, what are we talking about here, man? That right there, Jamil, is hyperbole.
That's patently false and disrespectful as hell.
Yeah, I mean that's that right there. Yeah,
that's Kung Fu Kenny kind of level hatred.
Yeah,
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, that's pure hatred.
Yeah, you and Kung Fu Kenny on my man, because that's disrespectful as hell.
So he says this, right? So he says 91%, not 100% of difference. All right, so let me hit you with these stats real quick. If that's your argument, and again, I don't care about the GOAT, but John Havlicek was 8-0 in the finals.
8 for 8.
8 for 8 in the finals, right? Casey Jones was 8-0 in the finals. So if you just want to go by that, what's the Bulls' name? Tom Sanders, 8-0 in the finals.
Tommy Heinsohn,
right? Robert Horry is 7-0 in the finals. So, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? That's why that can't be an argument. You can't just use one data point to make that kind of thing. What D-Wade won a chip before Bron got there, and his team wasn't loaded. It was 2006. I watched the entire finals. That was against Dallas. Dallas when Shaq went crazy, right? So
Shaq averaged 35 in those finals. Man.
So no, not in the finals. In the finals where D-Wade took over, but leading up to the finals, Shaq was their best player all season.
Yeah.
Leading up to the finals where D-Wade made his name known. But again, after that broke up, Miami was trash when Bron and Bosh went there. They weren't good.
D-Wade was 4 seasons in a row.
Yeah, like that, so that whole narrative about D-Wade, like D-Wade, it was in the after Shaq left, and D-Wade was
those
there by
3
himself.
seasons after Shaq left. They didn't even make the playoffs. They was one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, so that's fake news right there, right? And also look at the statistics of those seasons when they played together and tell me who was the leader. Hey Ash, what's going on? Caitlin Clark is about to play. Oh, I want to watch this. I'm gonna watch it myself. We about to get out of here anyway tonight.
All right, let's do our giveaway.
Let's get this last comments up. Elijah is there also from a standalone perspective, even though his stint was short. His reign on the top was short like leprechauns, but Elijah did everything. I don't think he had a weakness as a ball player.
These are the
there's no bias here. There's no
that
bias.
is my favorite. Hakeem Olajuwon is my favorite player to watch, and I think Tim Duncan might have been the best player of that Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan era.
So, and there's no bias at all. I'm not pro LeBron. I'm not anti LeBron. I'm not pro Kobe. I'm not anti Kobe, right? I mean, I'm from Philly, so people would think that I have a Kobe bias, but I try to be objective when I talk sports. And objectively speaking, I mean, we got data.
Kobe is a top 10. If you ask me, Kobe is a top 10 player. He doesn't belong in the GOAT conversation.
So we got a lot of things that I can like lean on that I'm not biased at all. I'm not a LeBron person. Right, I'm not a LeBron person. So Pascal says GE or GEHT. So General Electric or the healthcare spinoff. To me, neither. That's me personally. There's so many other things I would buy before either one of them. I don't know why people talk sports with you and Corey. That's what y'all do. No, the thing is though, it's hard for me to talk sports because on the internet, everybody is like one way or the other way. When the truth always lies somewhere in the middle. And the thing about being objective is most people don't like to be objective because people have their favorites. And if your favorite is your favorite, you ride for your favorite regardless of what the facts say or what the stats say. So it's hard to talk sports in general. That's why I don't even really talk sports no more. Like I had a whole sports podcast. We did 700 shows. Stop having it. Like it's like
it get wild
in WWE. Yeah, GE that, but that's the old GE ticker symbol. They went aviation. The other one is healthcare. But for me, either way. I can't really give an opinion. I haven't looked at the books of either, but for me, I wouldn't buy either. Like this, but that's a personal thing, not investment advice. And also letting you know, I haven't looked at their financial statements. Isaiah Lord Thomas III took on the best. Now I know where the bias comes from. Now I know where all the slander comes from. Dick Ebersol and David Stern. That's GOAT legend status. First time ever built around a 6-foot guard. All right, so. You just let me know where your bias is from. You are from Detroit, so this is all based around Isaiah Thomas.
I'm not mad at, and I'm not even mad at that. Isaiah Thomas was a top 5 player of that era.
I'm not arguing that.
Of that era, he was a top 5 player.
They had a squad though. They had a squad.
So did every other team that won in the 80s. You got to look at the teams that won in the 80s. You got the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Lakers, and the Pistons. Only 4 teams won in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like nobody else had a chance. And so when you look at it, you know what I mean? And the only team from the West that won is the Lakers.
Yeah, this is true. Zeke was a bad boy before Diddy and back-to-back before Drake. I see how you tied it all together there, Jamil. Pascal says, thoughts on Palantir versus Booz Allen. Corey, Palantir is one of your babies. Booz Allen, that's a defense company. I know that. I know what they are. But again, I haven't looked at their books. Funny thing is, most of these individual stocks these days, there's no stock that I've looked at over the last, let's say, couple years that makes me want to buy individual stock. I'm like on my down wave right now. I'm ETFing and minding my business. Because the more I study individual stocks, the more I really feel that most of this stuff are lies and deception. Because CEOs and because CTOs, CFOs, and everything have to report every quarter, I think almost every company's
books all lie.
Yeah. So for me, I'm just sitting around like, waiting for everybody to get Enron. I know that sounds crazy. I know that I'm not saying I'm anti-investing. That's not what I'm saying. Because I'll buy ETF in a minute. But by buying the ETF, I don't have to worry about who's a fake ETF, who's not. Yeah, because I don't love all ETFs either. That's the other thing. But Yeah, so it's hard for me to make that decision. I know who Booz Allen is. I've seen him in the news. I've seen articles comparing him to Peloton, talking about the defense side of things, but nothing really stood out for me. Companies don't have moats no more. Like, it's just tough out here right now. Personal opinion again. Don Johnson, Jay-Z, a wise man told me to argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who's who, in reference to calling Bron a bum. See, that's the thing, Jamil. You have a great point with Isaiah Thomas, but by you calling Bron a bum, your point with Isaiah Thomas holds less weight because you call Bron a bum. And again, not the biggest Bron fan, but even if you're a Bron hater, how's Bron a bum?
Yeah, like my favorite players are never the best player in the league. Like Bron has never been my favorite player, but you can't deny his greatness as a player. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I like Dwayne Wade way better than Bron. When they first came out, I thought Dwayne Wade was going to be better than Bron, and then I watched Bron play, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I was dead ass wrong." But you know what I mean? Like when I watched Russell Westbrook and James Harden play. Remember, I used to have this argument all the time. I said James Harden is better than Russell Westbrook, even though Russell Westbrook starts over James Harden. Like when you, like I, you know, because we played ball. I can see a ball player when I recognize ball players. You know what I mean? Like I played ball for the vast majority of my life. So, you know what I mean? Like for me, it get kind of hard to listen to people talk about ball who, you know what I mean? Like, but I'll listen. It get hard to listen. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. It's man, listen, that's why I'm just saying it's because the players I root for, to be honest with you, aren't even star players. I like players who have irrational confidence, right? Like one of my favorite players in the whole world, honestly, and y'all gonna laugh when I say this because he's nowhere near a great player. I love players like Fred VanVleet, right? because
he came from little ass school.
No, because you can't tell him that he's not one of the best. When you watch him play, he has irrational confidence. I've always liked guys with irrational,
like 30.
I always like guys with irrational confidence. Like I used to love Nick Van Exel, right? Because you couldn't tell Nick that he wasn't the best player in the world. I know he wasn't, but I love players with irrational confidence.
I watched Nick Van Exel gun the hell out of Kobe in his freshman and Kobe's first year in the league. Nick Van Exel refused to pass young boy the ball. Nick Van Exel was wilding, bro.
Yeah, I love players with irrational confidence because those are the ones I love watching because to me it's comical. So, but that's the difference between favorite and greatest, right? I'm not saying that any of these guys are the greatest.
Like Vernon Maxwell.
Yeah, guys like that. Vernon Maxwell is my guy too. Mad Max. Shout out to Mad Max, man. I remember seeing Mad Max at Studio 37 with a Major Figures jacket on, and I was like, why is he out here with a Major Figures jacket on? And why is he in this environment at Studio 37 when you playing the league? And I realized that Mad Max might have been the most gangster dude out there. So
ever.
Shout out to Mad Max. But yeah, man. So you know, I could see in the beginning that Westbrook was getting on Durant's nerves as he was going to bounce on him. People thought I was tripping. Rich also says, I'm riding with iBit, Coinbase, and CleanSpark. If it dies, it is. Man, let me just be quiet. With that being said, let's do our giveaway, man. Let me figure out a little hashtag for the day. You know what I'm saying? That we haven't used. What do we talk about today? I was going to make it Euphoria, but I don't want people trying to mess up spelling Euphoria.
No, so, if you put it on there, they can put it on there.
Understand that. So let's see. What else we going to make this?
Disrespect.
Somebody give me a hashtag for today's giveaway. Let's see what the people come up with. Timmy D. Hey, yo. Pat says you can buy any company you want as long as you have an exit plan for loss and gain and time. If it falls by X amount, you will sell. If it rises by X amount, you will sell. All right, there we go. Rat beef. So Pat, I agree with that. But I'm in this place in life where I don't even want to watch stuff no more. Yo, I'm in a weird place in terms of my investment journey. I don't want to look at nothing. Hashtag. And this is coming from someone who used to watch the charts 24/7. Now I'm at a place I don't even want to look at it. So you believe no company truly has a moat. All right, so I don't say no company. I just don't think there are strong moats. I think some companies have a moat because some companies have a moat strictly off their brand. Like Starbucks brand itself is a moat. Apple has a moat. So there are moats that are, there are moats that are there. But it's just like, to me, it's hard to explain. Maybe we can make a whole show about this. Like just, where I see the market in general. There you go. I like that one. There you go. I like that, Rich. What's beef? There we go.
I like that.
We're gonna make it what's beef. All right, so this is gonna be our giveaway today while we continue to go through these comments. Pascal said we can make it no Diddy or hashtag rap beef. What's beef? Put that in the chat. You'll get entered into our giveaway. Pascal says Coca-Cola. I sold all my Coca-Cola, and I've been holding Coca-Cola since 1996 or 7, but I sold every single bit of it. Coca-Cola don't even move no more. Now I know it was a dividend play, but I've been going deep in my analytical bag, and I've been going back 60 years doing research on dividends versus growth. And let's put it this way. I don't even think about dividends no more. Another rap beef. Pacers over Knicks. KO and Pepsi and Walmart. No, I'm sorry.
The one that might be
that's waste management, ain't it? Because Walmart is WMP.
Yeah.
So
wealth management. Wealth management might got the biggest
waste management
in the world because trash is never going away.
Waste management is an interesting business to me because of what they do. So that's always interesting to me. I never bought wealth management. I never bought waste management, but I've always watched it and I've actually looked at their books and they're a solid company. Not investment advice. So Jamil said he has skills, but I don't respect getting the coaches fired. Come on, man. That whole coaches fired thing is like ridiculous. That's a crazy narrative anyway. And the one stat nobody talks about, winning every offseason and trade deadline, that he needs help on every damn team. These are just like these are tired arguments, yo. Just tired arguments. It's like it's not even true. Once here and there, I get. But if you're supposed to be the GOAT, why do you constantly need help when you cherry pick who you want while destroying careers?
No, every star player only wins with star players. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Mike
you
has
don't win championships without other star players.
Yeah, like what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
There's only been one team, two teams that hasn't won with major star players, and that's the 2004 Pistons. But they had like 3 top 10 picks on that team. Not to say that they were great.
And Chauncey's on his way into the hall right now.
Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, and Rip Hamilton were all top 10 picks. What I'm saying is, not to say that they were bad players, but what I'm saying is none of those players were superstar players.
But the idea of you got to go pick the Sixers came out of the finals and got Charles Barkley in the draft. The Lakers came out of the finals and got Magic. Like this whole idea,
they got Magic and James Worthy.
Yeah, like in the middle of
James Worthy out the draft, like James Worthy. So they had 4 Hall of Famers.
And the Celtics was pulling the same moves too. Like it wasn't from a main man, snorting, do what he had to do. They was retooling right there too. So this whole idea is kind of wild to me. And it's like,
you gotta look at what the Celtics. They brought in Dennis Johnson. Narrative. Dennis Johnson won a championship before he ever made it to the Celtics.
With the Sonics, like this has always happened.
With the Sonics before he even made it to the Celtics.
But somehow this gets tagged on Brian. That's the thing I'm talking about things just. And again, it's more media, so now more people have stuff like Magic got a coach fired. Like, what are we talking about? Like this happens all the time with every star.
He did a coach fired. He damn near fired the coach. So he was like, "Yo, I'm off that. Like, I'm off pool."
Kobe cried and said he wanted to go to Chicago in the offseason. People forget about that. Like, they all do it. Be objective is all I ask. All right, so we got the comments coming in. Don says the strongest moats being the companies with mid-growth outlooks. Yeah. More folks getting into our actual giveaway. Who has he ever made better as a teammate? How many names do you want? Because I could sit here and give you.
My man he made champions out of some weird-ass dudes.
Did you see the team that he went to the finals with against San Antonio is kind of wild. Like
Bo Williams and Vinny Ilgauskas and all these weird ass people, man.
J.R. Smith, that's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, this is blasphemy.
Because that's the other thing too. This whole idea of
Tristan Thompson. He turned Tristan Thompson into a
$8 million contract. And the whole thing about like star players got to make people better. Like the thing about a star player And it's funny because I was watching a video of Wemby the other day. And Wemby, like, it was so many plays where folks were coming to the lane and they just saw him and move. That doesn't count as any stat whatsoever. But when you're a star player, you affect the game just by stepping on the court because you take so much attention that everybody gets open shots. So this whole idea of making your teammates better, I don't even know like what subjective kind of
how do you objectify
it? Make that? How are you quantifying that? That's the crazy part. So Rich says somebody's swinging punches in the air right now with your dividend comment. I know they are. People love dividends. People love dividends to the point that they become detrimental to their overall growth of their actual account. Right. And that's the problem. And statistically speaking, when you actually go back and look at the actual data, it tells you a different picture. You can pull back as far as you want to compare growth versus dividends. But people love dividends. People have this like people will buy a company that is going down in value but pays a high dividend, and they continue to do so. Shout out to all the AT&T investors. Yeah. Beef is when ICU, guaranteed to be in ICU. This is true. Ashley says, it's always fun listening to men argue about sports with their whole chest. Yeah, it is what it is. What to do to you? Snoop from the Wire to Jamil. Yeah, Jamil got a lot of Bron hate. You got to deal with, man. They still playing ass on the live. Pascal, I know you told me earlier, but I'll figure it out. So Jamil says, I can't change it now. So Jamil says 2004 Pistons were trash. All right, Jamil, you got a pot. You got a lot of hate in your heart tonight, man.
Jamil normally our guy. He is hateful tonight.
He hating on everybody. Ray Gun, he ain't on his own Detroit Pistons. Ray Gun says, let's go Knicks, let's go Knicks. So Ray Gun, shout out to Ray Gun for the super chat, just to troll us with his Knicks. Hey, listen, man. One thing I'll say, and I can admit what I knew Jalen Brunson was going to be good, but I didn't know this.
Listen, I knew Jalen Brunson was good. Not was going to be. He was already good because when Luka got hurt in the playoffs.
I mean, I knew that, but he wasn't this. He wasn't this.
No, he was good already. I knew
he's something else now.
But I didn't know he was a number one. I had no idea he was a number one.
I can't wait till Julius Randle come back and ruin your whole team just by coming back on the floor.
Yes, he do.
Everybody, before we do our giveaway, hit that like button.
Yeah, Julius Randle they need to get him out of there immediately. Faster than immediately.
Pascal says dividends only work if you have $1 million or more invested in a stock. Hey, it's all good. It's all good, Ray Gun. Like, you gotta, it is what it is. It's all love. We appreciate that. If the Knicks and Mavs make the finals, what would be surreal? Not likely, though. That would be a wild finals.
It would be.
Knicks, Mavericks, that would be a wild finals. I do love watching the Mavericks play. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I like watching the white boy get busy, man.
Because he is so slow and does whatever he wants to, even being that slow. The fact that he's that slow and unathletic and no one can still stop him is just he's very crafty. He's very crafty and very intelligent.
You know what it remind me of? It remind me of Larry Bird. I was like, why can no one stop this dude?
Yo, and then Kyrie Irving, I'm going to say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I have to explain what I mean when I say this. Kyrie Irving might be the most skilled player I've ever seen play. I don't mean greatest. I don't
think it's any question. He might be the most skilled player in NBA history.
Some of the stuff he does, like, and I'm watching him play.
I watch him make these wild left-hand floaters as a right-handed player. It's so like crazy. It's like pure art. It's like watching someone paint. It's like I'm like, what? This dude is out here like giving us art. And anyway, let me stop. Yeah. Enough of blumping on Kyrie tonight, but it is what it is, man. So we about to do our giveaway in a couple seconds. Rich says, how do they stop Jalen from dribbling in the paint amongst giants and he still gets to pass the shot off? Also, how he get away with all the Trae Young stuff that people cook Trae Young for, but he's allowed to do it? Yeah.
Pascal says who in reference to what? People wilding about Brunson. Someone today said he a top tier player. I heard that Rick Brunson today. I heard this. Rick Brunson is already a top 5 New York Knick of all time.
Jalen Brunson, you mean?
Yeah, I said Rick. You mean Jalen
Brunson?
His
pop.
Yeah, my bad. I'm old school, dog. Maybe that's why Pascal said
went to Temple, so we were very familiar with his pop.
Yeah, we watched his pop play like at Temple. Rick, I meant Jalen. Excuse me. But someone told me that Jalen Brunson was a top 5 New York Knick of all time. I said that is wild disrespectful. That's wild disrespectful. I mean, off the top of the head, without thinking, you got Patrick Ewing, Carmelo Anthony, you got Bernard King. Like they have a storied history of ball.
They got a team that went to the finals. You had Latrell Sprewell, Marcus Camby. You Larry Johnson. Like,
Yeah, that's what I heard today, though. T-Wolves will make the final. That would be interesting to see, too. The Mavs, my team, says Steve. Nice. Mecca says Luka is a right-handed James Harden, but with double the basketball IQ. I like that comparison. I've always liked that comparison, but I like the fact that you added double the basketball IQ. The slow white guy. Oh, Luka. We talking about Luka. Luka. A healthy Rick was cold. Yo, Rick was one of the best defensive guards I've seen. His father was a beast on defense. Like,
yeah,
and we all know defense comes from like just effort. Like Rick Brunson was great defensively. Charles Oak said he better than Ewing and Melo. Tell Charles Oak to stay off of the ooh-wee.
Yeah, stay off that.
Were just trash in the 90s.
That Zaza. Oh, stay off that Zaza. Not yet.
Jamil, you are wild, bro.
As a 6-foot guard, he has a chance to get there, but he ain't there yet. He ain't got enough years in.
So first of all, you called the 2000s go-to-work Pistons trash because they got one ring. Then you said just as trash as the 90s Bills. The 90s Bills are one of the greatest football teams to ever play.
In the history of what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, Jamil, you wilding right now, bro. And the thing is, they just played against teams that were literally some of the greatest teams ever. Like, again,
the 93 to 95 Cowboys might be the best team in history.
And how many times they beat them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. Like, they played against teams that are all-time great teams, and that's the thing. Like, again, this idea of greatest, best, trash is just thrown around too much, man. Because you don't want a chip doesn't mean you're trash.
93 to 95 Dallas team that won 3 out of 4 might be the best, and they only lost to the 49ers, who
might be another one of the best.
Who might be one of the best teams. Like,
all right, so Rich says that Mark Jackson is the most underrated point guard to him. I'm gonna tell you who I got above Mark Jackson. I think I agree with you. He's underrated, but who I have more underrated?
Rod Strickland.
Damn, dog, how you steal my thunder? How you even know I was gonna say that?
Because Rod Strickland was my favorite player.
I think he might be the most underrated. By the way, that's Kyrie's uncle, right?
It is.
Godfather, something like that.
Godfather.
Okay, so Emeka says Jokic is pretty much the fruition of that time. That time Tim Duncan was joking with Pop that he wanted to play point. Pretty much. It's also interesting to watch him play too. Mo Williams, Steve Nash. I think Steve Nash might be the one most overrated. No way he should have the MVP.
He was
ball. He could ball, but them MVPs was foul. He took one from Kobe. He took one from Kobe. He took one from Shaq. But I digress. Let's get ready. Let's see how many people we have into our giveaway so far.
League the year he won the first one though.
I mean, that was based on him and standing tall and talented, like cooking people just running the score up with the Mike Antony. I call him because I don't call him D'Antoni because
no defense
involved. Yeah, pause that. All right, y'all. Let's get ready to see who's going to win. Good luck to everybody. Remember, you have to let me know you're still here. Once I know you're still here, you can either put your cash tag in the comment section or you can shoot it to me, Corey, or by the hood. You will get paid this evening. It's $25 to the winner. CP3 way better than Nash.
They the same player.
I gotta think about that. I think CP3 is a great player, but that's a good comparison though. All right, let's get it popping though, y'all. Good luck to everybody. The winner is,
and the winner is
Mrs. Phoenix. Congratulations. Mrs. Phoenix. Mrs. Phoenix, you can either shoot me an email bythehoodllc@gmail.com. You can put your cash tag right now in the comment section. First of all, Mrs. Phoenix, are you still here? That's the first question. Because if not, respectfully, somebody got to get paid. Congratulations are coming in for Mrs. Phoenix, who won the sats that we're giving away tonight. Let's see. How many sats is that tonight? I want to check that real fast in real time. Tell you what that is in terms of Satoshis. Oh, close to 40,000, 39,738 sats. So Mrs. Phoenix says, yes, I'm still here. So Mrs. Phoenix, you can either email me, bythehoodllc@gmail.com.
Put it in the comments.
Or you can put your cash tag in the comments right now if you want to, and we will get you paid. You're close to 40,000 this evening.
I don't like to dream about getting paid.
So who is that? They not the same. Y'all tripping. Tripping on what? Steve Nash?
I said Steve Nash and
CP3 being better.
They the same player.
Mark Price and Sidney Moncrief were underrated. I agree with that.
They're not most underrated though. Mark Price is nice.
Mark Price wouldn't miss a foul shot to save it. He's boys that shoot like 99% from the foul line.
Yeah.
Mark Price was a beast. All right, that's Mrs. Phoenix 91. All right, got you. So that'll be sent over right away. Let me make sure I get my pick of that, and you will have your Bitcoin sent right away. All right, congratulations to everybody. They clones. No,
they play a similar game.
All right, so Stack Sats and Die Trying is Monday. Our regular podcast is Wednesday. We're here Friday live at 7 p.m. Check out our most recent podcast episode. We start talking about we'll put you in the 1% based upon what state you're in, and that conversation goes from there to other places because me and Corey talk, that's how it goes. Starts one place and we end up somewhere else. We started this show talking about Drake and Kendrick, and we ended talking about Mark Price and Sidney Moncrief. I have no idea how we got there in the grand scheme of things.
It doesn't matter.
We talked about criminal justice. We talked about Shogun and violence. So this is what happens on Friday. But we appreciate y'all for going up.
Do not recommend me no shows that are not comedies or have people that die a lot. Don't recommend me no shows. If it's not a comedy, if I can't laugh, I need to see somebody get punched in the face or die. So I gotta laugh.
I'm gonna watch them, and I'm gonna check out them and Shogun this weekend. I'm gonna give you a report back. All right, y'all. Listen, we appreciate y'all there, man. And we back here next week. We probably do our show we talked about with the books. We'll figure it out, but we'll do that next week. So we love y'all. Stay safe, and be careful out there, man. Let's go Pacers. I'm joking, y'all. Sorry, Knicks fans, but gotta troll.